Hey guys, it's Sam with Lit, and I wanted to give you guys a 3D printer review of the M3D Micro. Now, I recently sold my M3D Micro, but I decided while it's still fresh in my memory, I would give it a quick review. Now, the M3D Micro is a very cool machine that I purchased 2 to 3 years ago when they became publicly available. I did not back the Kickstarter, but while the Kickstarter was still going on, I did pre-order it. And so I got it for $350, and at the time it was a lot of money spent for a 3D printer, but it was the first one that I actually received. I had pre-ordered and kickstarted other models such as the Makey box, which folded up and I lost my money there, and also the Delta printer of the Tico. Now the Tico also folded up and lost my money there. So I was pretty salty, and I wanted to get a lot of use out of the M3D to kind of sort of try to make up for it, which I really didn't, and I'll go more into that later. Now the M3D Micro, the outer dimensions, it's a cube, it's 185 millimeters, and the build area is about 109 by 113 millimeters up to 74 millimeters height. And then on top of that, you have a smaller cube, which from heights 74 millimeters to 116, the build area shrinks in the X and Y to 84 by 91. Now the reason for that is the top of the frame actually impedes the print head from going up past a certain amount, so it has to go higher past in the inside part of that frame. The Micro uses 1.75 millimeter filament, and it is capable of printing both PLA and ABS filament. It has a removable build platform which slides up and out, and it does have a little bit of flex and has a build tack surface on top of it. It uses proprietary software by M3D that can be installed on Windows, Mac, and I believe Linux. As far as the internals of the printer, it uses threaded rods for the Z motion. The print head uses a toothed rail to travel along for the X-axis and has the motor itself in the print head, and the Y is moved with a belt system. Now, what kind of motors, you might ask? Most 3D printers nowadays use NEMA 17 stepper motors. Unfortunately, the Micro uses the same type of stepper motors, which is the 28 BYJ 48 stepper motors, which uses plastic reduction gears, and it's really noisy and very weak, has very little torque. It is much smaller than the NEMA 17s, but they are exclusively used in only the very, very lowest end 3D printers. So they are very inaccurate and very weak. The M3D uses threaded rods instead of lead screws, which does affect some of the speed and accuracy. Now the M3D, due to its stepper motors being very cheap, the printer itself is pretty noisy and slow. The Micro can be internally and externally fed filament through its internal, the M3D Micro can be fed filament internally and externally. To use the internal feed, you remove the build surface and build tray from the bottom, you lift it up and out, and then you use their proprietary or their cartridge system filaments, spools that are smaller, and feed them through a tube that goes up along the print carriage's wire bundle and feeds the filament internally. Alternatively, you can use the external feed, which comes through the top of the print head through a hole. The software used in the M3D is a proprietary software that you can install on Windows, Mac, and I believe Linux. The printer must be connected by USB A to B cable directly to the computer during use and printing, and the printer itself uses a 12-volt power supply that is provided. The M3D Micro does not support SD card functionality and only can print through the USB cable. The M3D Micro has a few pros and cons. In the pros section, The form factor looks really good. It's compact, it's sleek, it's cute, and it comes in a variety of colors. It's also very portable, which allows you to transport it to another location very easily. The cons. While it's portable, you need to have a laptop or a computer connected at all times, which makes the portability a little less useful. In addition to that, it's a very slow printer and noisy. It's not very accurate, and it uses proprietary software, which prevents you from using more advanced features and slicing capability. Though newer versions of the software did allow for G-code import, it was very difficult to use, and I had zero success with that. Additionally, the small build area made it difficult to print more usable parts, and really was only good for small trinket and toy type prints. Lastly, the capability to print ABS is wildly over-exaggerated. While it does accept ABS filament in the 1.75mm form factor, and the printhead can get to the appropriate temperatures, the capability to print ABS and extrude it are two different things. It extrudes ABS fine, but adhesion to the build platform is very hit or miss, and anything with more than a surface area of roughly 2 to 3 inches in diameter will pop off due to warping. Because the Micro does not have a heated bed adhesion with ABS parts is much more difficult, and because it is not an enclosed build area, radiant temperature or drafts in the room and cool air can warp the prints as well. I've had very little success printing with ABS on the M3D Micro, and only very small prints were able to print successfully with ABS. PLA, on the other hand, printed very easily, and that was the only material I was successfully able to print consistently. Even then, under extrusion happened very often due to wear and tear on the components, and maintenance was very difficult and annoying to do. Overall, I would not recommend the M3D Micro to anybody because current generation printers are so much more accurate and cheaper than the M3D Micro. Now, the M3D company has come out with a Pro model, which is a few $100s more, with a lot of the features that are missing, such as a heated platform. But overall, it is still proprietary, and I would recommend other printers. I hope you enjoyed this 3D printer review of the M3D Micro, and I hope you check out some of my other videos with 3D printing content. Thanks. Bye.